welcome to another Storytime episode of the Scariest Podcast.
Woo!
I'm Robin Grace, and this is Adam Diaz.
Hello.
And we're going to share some homegrown horrors with you today.
Indeed we are. Robin is a bit under the weather, so shout out to her for coming on. We weren't sure she was going to make it, but she's kind of a badass, so she's definitely here. So I appreciate you, Robin. Just want to put that out there. Also, shout out to everyone who's watching Storytime live at youtube.com/scarish and twitch.tv/scarish podcast. We appreciate you folks joining us. I know this isn't the normal day. This isn't the normal time. For those of you who just listen to the episodes when they release, you can't tell the difference. But we appreciate all of our live viewers right now. Shout out to JGalese564 who subscribed with their Twitch Prime account. We appreciate it. For those of you who have an Amazon Prime account, Robin, how can they link that to a Twitch account for free and give us Amazon's money?
You can go to twitch.amazon.com, I'm pretty sure. And if you have an Amazon account, a Twitch account is free. You guys can link them together and you get a free $5 subscription
once a month,
every 30 days.
So every 30 days you can toss that anyone's way. Thank you
so much.
Shout out to Valley Grills who just subscribed for the third month. We appreciate you so very much. I think Robin's going to go first with story time, but let's explain this really fast.
Oh, okay.
We're going to read homegrown horrors. Now, Robin, what is a homegrown horror?
So homegrown horrors are the paranormal, supernatural, spiritual, coincidental sleep paralysis, night terror, strange occurrence.
Any type of spooky story that you might have that you want to toss our way.
Of you, your family, friends that they've told you. Share it with us.
Yes, please do. And in order to do that, you can email storytime@scarish.com. You can also go to our website, scarish.com, and click on Contact Us. Fill out that form. It comes directly to us. Or you can message us on our various social media platforms. Twitter is @ScarishPod. Instagram is @ScarishPodcast. And our Facebook is facebook.com/ScarishPodcast. So feel free to message us in any of those variety of ways, and we look forward to hearing from you. And if you do that, you can get your story read on Storytime like all the folks who emailed us, I think back at the beginning of April, which is the time zone that we're currently in for the stuff we're going to read.
Cool.
So go ahead and lead us out, Robin.
All right. So this first email here is from Robert, and the subject is Scary Catechism Class.
Nice.
Not to be confused with World of Warcraft Cataclysm.
Which is slightly different, but only slightly.
All right. So it begins, hello, Adam and Robin.
Hello.
Hello. I identified your podcast from the first episode as being one of the better ones, mostly because I could tell you placed a lot of effort in researching and being timely on your episodes. We definitely do make an effort. I know Adam makes an effort. Sometimes I am just like, I don't want to do it because I'm tired or we're busy with school or work I'm busy with school or work or something like that. And
I think it's very important to the both of us. Don't sell yourself short.
Yeah, and so
we have an episode.
Adam
2
is
episodes
very
a week.
adamant, and he stays up really late to edit sometimes so that we can get the episodes out to you guys on time. So I know we were a little rough in the beginning where we were like, it's going to be a day late or something like that, right?
We have literally never been a day late.
Oh, just late for patrons?
Yeah. You're thinking, well, kind of no. We've never been late for patrons either. We just have gotten a little slimmer of a gap between when the early access is for regular episodes. What we were late on was Nerd Chills. We missed a few episodes of Nerd Chills on the target dates. That was our first podcast. Don't go listen to it. It's not very good.
Don't go listen to it. Okay, so you also have a great chemistry, which allows for time to fly when I listen to you guys.
Thank you.
You may share these stories on the pod. Thank you. When I was in elementary school, I had to also take catechism classes. They are classes Catholics take to learn more about their religion. One day, I got to class and there was a new younger teacher waiting for us. I will never forget this day because she asked us, who here knows what the devil looks like? Anyone?
What kind of question is that on your first day?
Especially at Catholic school. Why would you?
Right.
That's so weird. Well, why don't we all draw what we think he looks like? Why would you ask kids to do that?
Draw pictures of the devil, man?
She passed out sticky notes to each of us and had us all draw the devil. By the way, me being about 9 years old thought that this was cool. While I was finishing up, she looked at mine and saw that I drew hooves for feet. She asked me, how did you know his feet look like that? I said, I don't know. Now that I'm older, I'm sure I got it from Loteria, which is a Mexican bingo game that has the devil on it. That's hilarious.
That is hilarious.
She then pretty much complimented my drawing and collected all of our drawings. Class was ending, so she said, very good, next week we will read the Bible and I will tell you exactly what the devil looks like. To which I also thought, awesome. Well, this is scary-ish now because I asked myself, why the F did a catechism teacher have kids do this? Also, we never saw that teacher again.
Wow, that's
They were
messed
probably
up.
like, why are you having kids do this?
Yeah.
This is not how things work. Why
Or
are
they
you...
showed up, collected their drawings of the devil from the innocent, added them to their saint and shrine, and then summoned a demon somewhere. That's got to be part of a spell somewhere, just saying.
I'm going to say I think it was something where she had a certain way she was going to teach, and they were like, this is about learning about your religion, not scaring children.
I can see parents telling or kids telling their parents, like, we drew the devil today, and
Yeah.
then being like, whoa, what? And that was just the end of that.
Yeah, the email goes on to say, perhaps some kid told their parents what we did in class. So now I ask myself, what would a 20-something-year-old girl in the 90s do with a bunch of kid drawings of the devil? I will never know. The satanic panic was real. Catch you on the dark side, Rob.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's really
Satanic
good.
Panic was legit a thing. You don't believe me? Go watch X-Files, because throughout the 80s and 90s, basically everything was connected to Satanists or a Satan cult. It was ridiculous. Things like Dungeons and Dragons, because it was like introverted kids, they're studying about demons and devils. It's like, no, dude, they're just playing nerdy shit.
Yeah.
But seriously, like, if you watch some of the stuff that's on Netflix about like the UK drama, I can't remember what we were watching. It was a true crime drama where each episode was about a different case. But like in 3 or 4 of them,
it was
they
so
were like,
stupid.
they got into satanic cult rituals,
Yeah.
and they started playing Dungeons and Dragons.
It was so dumb.
And when
It
I
was
heard
such
that,
a
I'm like,
stupid
I'm
show.
turning this shit off. Like, I can't stand this stereotyping nonsense.
Yeah, because it was just like, oh, they're goth. They must be into the occult.
Therefore, they must be evil.
It was so stupid.
It was very dumb. But yeah, that was pretty good. I don't know why the hell a teacher would have you draw a devil or the picture of the devil. I don't know what in their head they thought, like, this is a really good idea. I'm going to really make an impact on these 9-year-olds.
I'm just going to draw Tom Ellis.
That's funny. I thought he was going to draw his teacher, and the teacher was going to disappear in a puff of smoke,
That would
like,
be
you've
crazy.
solved my ruse, and twists their mustache and disappears. That would have been a sweet story. I'm not saying your story wasn't sweet. I'm just saying that's where my head's at right now. So, awesome.
All right.
Also, really fast, I want to thank Brittany, who brought us this wonderful doll named Faith. We met up at the Winchester Mystery House,
yeah.
and she brought us one of her own dolls to gift to us so that we could have it on the show. I'm really hoping Faith does not fall down. She stands straight up and down, so it's not like our other one over here that just sits. But
I think she can sit, though, if you bend her body.
I didn't want to bend it because I didn't want to break her, and she seemed like she just wanted to like kind of stand because she's been laying down for so long.
All right.
So we have 2 dolls now that are kind of terrifying, but I'm totally cool with.
We plan on creating some sort of display for all this stuff that we are given because we do have quite a few things that are starting to kind of pile up. So I'm thinking about emptying this shelf, getting rid of all the manga, not getting rid of it, just putting
Moving
it
it.
somewhere else. And then putting all our spooky friend stuff there. So I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah. But we'll see what happens with it.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, Brittany. Thank you to everyone who sends us anything. We appreciate every single one of you. Seriously, we do.
So it's your turn.
It is my turn. So I'm going to move on to the next story of the night. And this one's subject is Scary-ish Story. So we're getting straight to it. It is also kind of short, so strap in. It starts out like this. Hello, Robin and Adam.
Hello.
Hello. Shout out to Queen Caffeine, who just subscribed for the 2nd month
Thank you so
with
much.
their Amazon Prime subscription.
Seriously, guys, go to twitch.amazon.com and join your accounts. Free subscriptions,
What's
free
funny
$5 readings.
is we've had a lot of chatting with our viewers, but for those of you who are just listeners of the normal podcast episode, that's like 2 plugs in 10 minutes. So just know it was spaced better for the live episodes, which you should try and check out sometime. Let's get back to this email. This is a story that I always tell friends when we talk about our creepy or scary stories about our houses. Feel free to share this on the podcast. It starts off with me helping an injured bunny, since we live by the woods and have an outdoor cat who hunts small animals. I took the bunny in and tried my best to care for it until it got better.
Oh, I don't know. I hope it's not sad. I love animals.
Everyone loves animals. At least I hope everyone loves animals. Fast forward to about a week later. My cousin, who I don't see often, came to visit me. We were the only ones home and we sat and talked. During the conversation, I brought up the bunny. I took my cousin to the walk-in room of my house where the bunny's cage was, in parentheses, which has been known to feel sort of scary, as if there was something wrong about it. However, when I opened the cage to look for the bunny, it wasn't there. I searched everywhere in that cage, under bedding, the sides, everywhere. The first thing that came to mind was that it somehow escaped.
That's what I was thinking too.
My head goes a little bit darker. I was thinking that the bunny passed away and your parents got rid of it discreetly so that you wouldn't have to feel the pain. You just thought it ran away. So there's a really funny part in Adventure Zone, by the way, where they realize one of their childhood pets actually died and wasn't like released to the wild. It's
Like
so funny. They didn't realize until that moment where they explained what happened to the pet. And one of them's like, no, it just got too big and they had to let it go. Oh, you son of a bitch. And the dad just starts laughing really hard. It's really funny. Okay.
Oh my God. Okay.
Getting back to the email. My cousin began to search the next room. As I turned my back from the cage, beginning to search before I had the chance to search, I heard a noise that I don't know how to describe. It was kind of like a poof. I turned around to the bunny staring at me in its cage.
No way.
I yelled for my cousin because it freaked me out since I know I double-checked to make sure it wasn't in there. When she saw the bunny in the cage, she freaked out as well, and we both got the hell out of there.
Oh my
This could be a
gosh.
mistake I made, and I am skeptic myself, but I truly believe this was real. Sorry for any bad grammar. I'm pretty bad at writing. LOL. Don't worry about it. Shout out to my mom who edits these.
So the
Appreciate
thing
it.
about that is,
He's magic, and he doesn't know it, and he accidentally performed a spell.
I don't know about that, but if the bunny was just hiding or something in the cage and appeared again, you would not just hear like just a poof, but you'd hear that cage rattle because
you would hear the
I've
cage rattle
had
when it
rabbits.
moved.
I've had rabbits, and whenever they jump, the whole cage kind of rattles. And I mean, I know this because they used to hump all the time, and you could not sleep because the cage was just, it was horrible. And I had to give one away eventually. I was just like, I can't handle
This one's too much of a whore.
But anyway, it's a weird thing to have it just appear
Unless
so quietly.
it escaped, was hiding somewhere. They opened the cage, were looking around, and the bunny's like, I'm going to go lay back down. And it jumped into the cage, and the poof he heard was it landing.
But
It
would still rattle the cage.
It's true. It would still rattle the cage. So the bunny is magic, or you are magic. Try and use those abilities. And if it doesn't work, then, it wasn't you, it was the bunny.
The bunny is the embodiment of Houdini.
Wow. You just went
He's a,
super specific. I was going to say the bunny might be your Patronus, and you didn't even know it.
it's a magician.
It's a magician. Who knows? There might have been a magician nearby practicing his skills. Like, watch this shit. I'm going to freak this kid out.
Or it's just like, that's what happens to bunnies when they put them into the hat.
When they disappear. That's hilarious.
Okay.
Right on.
So this next story is from Graciela or Spooky Zora. So you might have seen them around on the Twitch and probably the Discord.
Yeah, they
and
usually
stuff
watch
too,
live too a lot of times.
yeah. This subject is seeing ghosts. And it goes a little something like this. It actually goes like this because I'm reading it. So it goes just like this. I missed the live from April 10th, but when I went back to watch on YouTube, I realized I have a story to send in. So I don't think that I see ghosts actively. I actually see way more shadow people type things than ghosts. I'll explain what I think the difference is in a sec. I haven't seen anything in a while, and I've never really tried to or looked for them. The only time that I think I've seen ghosts, it was super unexpected. For me, the difference between the entities I've seen are the colors. Shadow people are dark and shadowy / smoky, and the ghosts I've seen have all been white or lightish gray. The first time I think I saw a ghost wasn't spooky or scary at all. I don't remember how old I was, but I was definitely younger than 13 because I went to a K-8 elementary middle school when I lived at that house. I was maybe between 11 to 13. We were eating dinner at my dad's house, and I don't know if this is normal for everyone, but at my dad's house, we all eat dinner together at the dining table. It's not formal or anything, but it's no cell phone time. Everyone is together and talks about our day. There's usually a salad, and then when you're done with your salad, you get up and go into the kitchen to serve yourself dinner. At the time, our house had a separate kitchen and dining area. Enough about dinner. On to the ghost.
I was very intrigued with your dinner rules. I like those. I like that it's no cell phone time and you guys talk to each other. That's a cool thing. So thank you for sharing your rules with us because I bet you everyone has their different rituals for all the different things they do.
I got up to serve myself dinner, so I was the only one in the room at the time. When I walked through the doorway to the kitchen, there's a hallway to the right that leads to the bedrooms from the kitchen. I always look down that hallway. Does anyone else do that? I do that.
I always look down hallways. If something's charging me, I want to know it's there.
Sometimes, if I'm walking past a hallway, and I don't look, I feel like I see something out of the corner of my eye, but it's only because you're walking and things are just passing by because you're walking, right. And so you think you see something, but who knows? You might actually be seeing something.
What if ghosts are like really scared of you and they're really just trying to hide? And you're like, oh my God, there's a shadow person. And they're like, oh my God, there's a human person. I'm so scared.
It's like the others.
You always say that. Every time I bring up something where ghosts are like, have consciousness, you're like, it's always like the others.
Continuing on. Whenever I pass a hallway or doorway, I have to look. So I turned my head right to look, and I saw a little boy, maybe 5 years old, and I'm assuming Doesn't look like anyone in your family. They were running down the hallway to my baby sister's room. I remember very clearly that he was wearing a backpack while he had just gotten home from school. Oh, like he had just gotten home from school. And even though he was running away from my direction, he turned his head so I could see his profile, and I could tell that he was laughing as he was running. This is one of those things, to me,
Children's laughter.
where, well, no, not the children's laughter, but it's like an echo through time, where maybe it's not a ghost, but it's some kid in a different time that literally just got home from school and is running around the house like, catch me, mom. Because I just imagine that's what kids do. But
and the mom's like, yeah, go ahead and run. I'll catch you eventually.
Yeah.
And they just like down a shot of vodka or something. By a shot, I mean a full glass or maybe even a bottle. I don't condone alcoholism in parents, but I'm just saying I know some people who drink and I understand it.
His footsteps didn't make any noise, and I couldn't hear him laughing, but I could tell. The weird thing was, I wasn't scared or surprised at all. I just registered that he was there, got my dinner, and went back to the dining room as if what I saw was completely normal. I could not do that. I'd be like, oh my God. I would have screamed. Seeing something like that, there's no way I wouldn't have freaked out.
I think every now and then you just have this sense to just act casual through something weird or out of the ordinary. And like there was one moment with my family where we were all sitting at the dinner table, we were eating, and like we didn't have the TV on, we were all talking, and it was nighttime, and the power went out. And we're in the middle of eating, and all of a sudden it was pitch black, and we're just all sitting there, and no one said anything, no one freaked out. Everyone just kept eating their meal for like 60 seconds. We were all just like playing it cool, and then someone was just like, I think it was my daddy, just like, well, shit. And he got up to go find candles. We just sat there like, what are we going to do? Like, I'm not getting up right now. I just think it's one of those things where you just don't know how to react. So you're just like, I'm just going to react like that didn't happen at all.
All right. It continues on. It wasn't until after dinner that I realized what I had seen. The other times are all similar to that. The next time I was in high school and visiting my cousins in Los Angeles. I had a baby cousin at the time that was still drinking from bottles. It was nighttime and he was hungry, so I went to the kitchen to make him a bottle. When I walked out of my cousin's room, again, there was a hallway to my right that led to the rest of the restroom, or bedrooms, not restrooms. Why would you have like a million restrooms in a hallway?
1 bedroom, 6 restrooms.
I glanced to my right down the dark hallway and I saw what looked like a man standing there facing me and maybe stretching, like his right arm was up and behind his head, like stretching his right lat muscle. This, I don't know what that is, by the way. This one.
One's on your sides.
Ah, okay. This one wasn't as clear. I didn't see his face or anything, and honestly, I sort of immediately assumed it was my older guy cousin wearing a white t-shirt, standing silently in the hallway. That's super creepy.
Right? Like that's less creepy.
I went to get the milk, and it wasn't until I was walking back to my cousin's room that I paused and realized that there were no men in the house that night at all, but there was nothing in the hallway anymore, and I also wasn't scared, just sort of confused, and then felt a sort of wonder. The other times were all the same. I could see a white shape and not feel at all surprised until later, except for the last time. I was walking back to my room at my mom's house this time. Again, this was sometime in high school. I haven't seen anything since this time. I was walking back to my room after grabbing something from the kitchen, and I saw someone standing in front of my room. It looked like a man, and weirdly, he looked like he was wearing pirate clothes. Something not from this time period, at least.
The story is probably rated R.
Oh, ha ha ha. He was...
It's a terrible joke. I apologize to all of our listeners.
He was standing facing my door and then walked through my closed door. That's definitely like ghost status.
That's not normal, walking through a door, unless they opened it first.
Walked through my closed door into my room. I stopped walking immediately, waited for a second, and then figured I could maybe wait a little while before going back in. I don't remember how long I waited, but I think by the time I went back to my room, I wasn't worried about anything. I wouldn't call myself sensitive at all. Like I said, I don't actively see ghosts or try and seek them out, but these are just my experiences seeing what I thought could be ghosts. Thanks, guys. Stay creepy. Zora.
Thank you, Zora,
Thank you
for
so
sending
much.
those in. We appreciate that.
Yeah, that last one, definitely a ghost.
Yeah,
Like,
I think most of those are definitely something that's abnormal, without a doubt. So the fact that you saw them and kind of kept your cool is it's pretty awesome. It's a testament to you. So good job.
But what if you're kind of like when you're psychic, you see the future and you're just seeing something that'll happen in the future? That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Be weird for pirates to make a comeback, but it would still be pretty cool.
Well, no, that one's definitely the ghost. But I'm talking about the little kid and the guy that was stretching.
Yeah,
Like,
that could be. I mean, anything could be. Or, it could be that you were hallucinating and maybe you were tripping balls and you left that out. So who knows? But still, enjoyed it very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
so
thank you so much.
So this next one is called My Dark Encounter, which is a pretty solid name.
Sounds like a story, like a book story or
Yeah,
something.
almost sounds like the first part of a series or something like that. And it starts out like this. Hey there, spooky friends. Hello. And all spooky friends just yell hello right now. I'm Noah from Jacksonville, Florida. I found you on Spotify and have been listening for the past 2 weeks now.
Nice.
I love the podcast so much that I had to start at the beginning. So it's been a hike, but well worth it so far. I like that you hedged your bets. You guys could totally suck at the end here, but so far so good. Also joined the Facebook group and have been enjoying it a lot. Shout out to the Facebook group because you folks are amazing.
Yeah.
You post a lot of stuff, except for that goddamn Zaboomafoo thing about him being a grandfather that's been posted 50 times. Shout out to Miss Deezy. Speaking of 50, she's almost subscribed that many times. Actually, it's only 10, which is almost a full year.
Yeah, that's almost a full year.
Miss Deezy has subscribed.
Thank you
I'm pretty
so much.
sure every month we have been doing this. So, Miss Deezy, you're amazing. The message that she posted was, I'm here. In any case, I want to tell you about an incident that happened to me a while back. So it was a Wednesday night in 2015, and I was deciding to hang out with a friend of mine. Back then, I was heavy into psychedelics. I'm so glad you led with that. And decided to take some when I was with him. I needed to state this because there were several times I took this substance before and have never seen anything like the event that took place that night. It's not in the story, but I'm going to go ahead and say, take everything from now on with a grain of salt.
Sometimes you just have a bad trip.
Yeah. So, for anonymity's sake, we will say my friend's name is John. I sincerely hope your friend's actual name is John. I do that to all my friends when I give them pseudonyms. He had a terrible childhood growing up. He witnessed the murder of his mother and also had to endure the death of his sister 3 years later that was raped and murdered.
Oh my God.
That took a turn
geez.
towards Seriousville. That is so
quickly.
sad. I felt terrible for him, so I started to hang out with him more and more after him telling me his story. Honestly, I believe he attracted a lot of negative energies and darkness, so to speak, around him because of what he had gone through, which led to weird things just happening around him. So this is where it gets crazy for me. We started watching a movie called Focus, starring Will Smith, and by the way, it's a great movie. I love the colors in the movie that were giving off such beautiful cascade of lighting in the room. I decided to look up at the ceiling because ceilings gave off great visuals for me. When I looked up, I saw two shadow-like handprints that looked to be imprinted into the ceiling. They were smooth against the surface of the ceiling, though, almost like the light from the TV just skipped around these handprints.
Whoa.
That's creepy. I decided to bring it up with John and was curious to see what he would say. I said, while pointing at the ceiling, John, do you see those handprints up there? He looked my way, then decided to follow my finger up to the ceiling. He had a surprised look on his face, then turned to me. He said, yeah, I see them. I see spiritual or unexplained things like that all the time.
Wow.
I'm freaking out. Okay, just going to point out that if you are having a bad trip, that's the sort of thing that's going to make it become just
even worse.
Way, way worse. So, okay. I'm freaking out a bit from him telling me this because it reassured me that I wasn't tripping balls and going crazy, but also made me realize that something was definitely going on. Not even a minute later, we heard a bang against the wall that was to the right of us. We both jumped, startled from the noise, because we knew we were the only ones up this late in the house. The wall had 3 picture frames hanging on it. Mainly, I mean, if you were a ghost or a demon, why wouldn't you mess with someone who is tripping balls?
Yeah.
Because they're never going to think that it's real, and if they do, no one's going to believe them. Mainly pictures of family members, etc. While our gaze is fixated at the wall, we hear another bang, and after the second consecutive bang, all the picture frames flew off the wall onto the ground. The biggest frame smashing into pieces as it impacted.
Wow.
Yeah. I legit screamed like a little bitch for a split second when this happened. We got up and walked around the glass to the pictures. The one that ended up breaking, and I shit you not, was a picture of him, his mother, and his sister.
Oh my goodness.
I fucking freaked and wanted to nope the fuck out. I spouted to him that this was way too much for me and my state of mind, and I had to haul ass home. Needless to say, I don't do psychedelics anymore, and that night definitely left a lasting impression on me. Thank you so much for taking the time to hear me out and listen to my story, and I am so sorry it is so long. It's okay.
You're
and
good.
It wasn't that long.
Yeah, it wasn't that long. Don't worry
Feel
about
free to share this on the pod. I got more stories and we'll share them with you at a later point, I'm sure. You guys are the best and keep on creeping on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sending that in. I do not doubt you had an experience, and I do appreciate you mentioning that you took psychedelics, because that is usually a joke that I say. But that does not mean that something did not happen. And the fact that it was that specific picture that jumped off the wall and broke, which is physical evidence that something happened, is freaky.
Maybe it's something where by doing that, it kind of accentuated some sort of energy that he has around him because so many bad things have happened to his friend. You know what I mean? And maybe
by pointing out the thing on the ceiling?
No, by taking the drugs.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Maybe it just...
It opens you up a little bit more?
Yes.
Like it thins the veil a little bit more?
Right, because it opens your mind a little bit more, and you never know. It could be something that just made it more...
Hearing you say that, I mean, like, I watch stuff at the gym while I'm pedaling, and the last thing that I was watching the last time I was at the gym was The Matrix. So it's just like, I just hear Morpheus being like, free your mind.
Free your mind.
And then he jumps across a fucking building. Can't believe Neo missed that jump. Let's just be real here. He's supposed to be the one.
So this email goes, "Hi guys. Hello. I am a lover of your podcast, and yet another one from Spotify at that."
Shout out to Spotify.
Shout out to Spotify. I never say that. Adam's usually the only one. And he's the only one. Anyway, okay.
What's that from?
Tigger.
Oh, okay.
T-I-double-G-er. I love horror and I write it too, but I also experience it. Well, aside from the fact that I cannot act like a normal person in life, especially when I'm listening to horror, I still have fun scaring myself to death. I was also wondering if I should send my experiences in. Some of them are just really weird, while others are straight up terrifying.
Yes, the answer is yes.
I also wanted to say that even though I'm really young, probably younger than you think, I really enjoy your podcasts that chill me to the bone. I wanted to say as well that I have a small problem at night sometimes, but very unlikely during the day. I find myself almost paralyzed with fear. I can't think straight around the bad feeling in my gut, which has many stories involving it being right. I can't move without second guessing or sometimes not move at all because I am so terrified with racing images that fill me with dread. Maybe it's because I love horror, listen to it, and write it, but I find horror a necessity in life. It's an endless circle. What a wonderful life, isn't it? Yeah.
Wow.
I mean...
Wouldn't it hurt you to take a little break to see if this persists or if the images change to something that is reflective of what you're exposing yourself to? If, like, you know, you get what I'm saying? Like, maybe it's a reflection of what you're taking in. Sometimes, like, if you're, like, sick, like, if you have the flu, you have, like, fever dreams, and it's typically, like, whatever you've been watching. Like, I was super sick one time. I was living down in Arizona. Robin came down to take care of me, and she put on Pokemon. And, like, she had it, like, start from the beginning while she was taking care of me. And I was, like, waking up. And she was changing the rag on my forehead. And I was having the weirdest Pokemon dreams. Not saying that's what's going on. But it'd be a fun experiment to do for yourself. To change, like, the things that are, like, primarily being taken in. And see if it changes your visions or whatever they are. So, my suggestion. Let us know.
Anything I email, I give you permission to use. You guys are awesome, supportive, and extremely funny. I hope I can listen to you guys forever. And no, I did not mean that in a stalkerish way. Just a scary-ish way. I added that, sorry. And, well, thanks, guys. And remember, stay scary-ish. Love a crazy, terrified, but mega addicted fan. P.S. Here's something to make you laugh from Google. It's an image. I can't share that with you guys because this is an audio medium, but you know.
Thank you so much for sending that.
Yeah, thank you so much.
They also included a work for our reading
work
pleasure.
Of fiction, yes.
So we're going to check that out. We're going to get back to you and let you know what we think of it. And thank you so much for sending that. We appreciate it. And definitely send us your full stories, too. We want to hear them. I know a lot of times they're deeply personal and hard to share. So if you do want to share them, we want to hear them. And if you don't want them shared on the podcast, let us know. And you can still share them with us, and we'll keep them private. So thank you for sending that. That's really cool. So
yeah,
good
thank
stuff.
You so much.
All right, so I'm going to move into our last story of the show. This one's subject is third time is the charm, in parentheses, use on Storytime. FYI, the subject is a really good place to let us know we can use this on Storytime. And it starts out like this. Dear Adam and Robin. Hello.
Dear. I almost said dear.
I know. It's me again, the person with the formal intro to letters. It's because I'm old, in parentheses, but not as old as Adam, only 31 here. Well, at least you're in your 30s. Makes me feel good. I've written before about a, in parentheses, purportedly haunted psych hospital and about someone caught on camera trying to get into my house. But now I have something a little different. And then it goes on to give a title to the thing we're about to read, and it's in capital letters, and it says, Her Shadow. It is important to know that I have been a single mom since 2011 after going through an amicable divorce. It's nice that it was amicable.
Yeah. They're rarely amicable.
They very rarely are. Wherein we put our own crap aside and have been good co-parents ever since. So when my best friend, in parentheses, we worked night shifts at the haunted psych hospital before I got day shift, was in need of a place to stay while going through her own much messier divorce, I opened up my home to her and her 2 Boston Terriers. That's adorable. Side note, I'll be calling her Rachel to respect her privacy. Maybe it's Rochelle. I'm going to go with Rochelle because there's 2 L's.
It looks like Rochelle.
Rochelle is one of the kindest people I know, the oldest sister of many siblings, and an extremely talented artist and tattoo artist.
I'm just thinking about the first episode of Sherlock when they're like, it's Rache, or it's like German for revenge or whatever, when...
Reich. I can't remember what it's supposed to be, but yeah.
Because she was actually spelling
Rachel.
Spoilers if you haven't watched Sherlock.
What the hell are you doing with your life if you haven't watched Sherlock on Netflix with Benedict Cumberbatch?
So the woman that gets murdered is writing, and not the medical examiner, but one of the detective dudes is like, it's obviously revenge.
Yeah, it's German for revenge. So, okay, I'm going to get back into this email now. Why are you grabbing my chair?
I don't know.
You have an armrest yourself. She, like myself, she does it when we drive too. All of a sudden, like the entire like center console will be completely taken up by her arm, and I'll feel her elbow going into my ribs. And I'm just like, I'm driving, man. Like, what's going on? All right, getting back to it. She, like myself, had a traumatic childhood, even though our experiences were very different. We bonded in a way that only trauma survivors can.
Oh, wow.
Anyway.
That's great to have a friend that understands you like that or can relate in a way.
Yeah, it's very true that like misery loves company, but not always in a bad way. It's just because you kind of just gravitate towards people who understand the things that you've been through, because like that empathy is a lot more powerful for you than the sympathy of people who've never really experienced it themselves. And they say anyway here because they probably knew we were going to take a tangent. But quick note to remember the difference between empathy and sympathy. Sympathy is something you have for someone that's experiencing something you haven't experienced. Empathy is when you have experienced it. And the best way I've ever been described it to, and I've never forgotten it since then, is if you're a guy, this is applicable. I don't know how it would work for women. So, Robin, you can let us know. If you have been hit in the testicles as a man, you have felt that pain. So anytime you see a man, whether it's in person or on TV, get hit in the testicles,
you can empathize with
you
them.
Not only empathize, but you're like, ooh, because you like feel that pain a little bit. That's empathy. If you see someone experiencing a pain that you've never experienced before, that's sympathy. I don't know. What's a nut shot for ladies, Robin?
You've punched me in the cooch.
I don't know if I punched you in the cooch. Like we were playing around and like maybe a cooch was punched. That's not on me. That's just like, you know, fists were being thrown. Things got rough. A dog jumped in the middle of it and stopped it. So don't shake your head. It's an audio medium. All right. I'm getting back to this email now. Anyway, before she moved in, she had a, quote, real talk discussion with me about something that has been with her since childhood. In her experience, wherever she has lived, a shadowy thing has followed her. Though nothing has really harmed her, it has had an effect on those around her. For instance, her dickbag ex-husband would experience items being moved around and doors being opened and closed. In her own words, she has said, quote, I worked with a Hawaiian nurse when I was around 18, and we had a long talk about shadow people because they are called something else in Hawaii, but he knew what I was talking about when I was describing my experiences.
All right.
In parentheses, insert knowledge from Robin here.
Oh.
Robin, tell us the Hawaiian perspective on something like this.
I with like shadow people, I don't know about shadow people. I mean, there's the menehune, which are like the little spirits that cause problems and stuff like that. But
and then there's the guardians of the island, right? That you're supposed to, if you hear the drums or whatever,
and stuff like that. But I don't know if there's a term. There is probably a term for legit shadow people. So I'm not. I don't know.
Right on. That's still good stuff. Continuing on. I really think it was cool for her to be so upfront with me. If she's moving in with you, she needs to tell you about her shadow people baggage. And I decided that because she had mentioned that the shadow never attacks people who aren't deserving of it, in parentheses, being a big old bag of dicks like her ex, that she was still welcome in my home with me and my daughter.
Don't eat all the peanut butter and then leave the empty container in the cabinet.
Yeah, that is a dick move. Especially since my roommate had recently moved to California with his mom, and my boyfriend, in parentheses at the time, was getting too clingy, and I needed a solid excuse to get my key back from him.
Oh,
that's hilarious.
Shit.
I think it's funny because in parentheses when it said at the time, I'm like, does that mean the boyfriend is now a husband or a fiance or is no longer a boyfriend?
When I see at the time, I immediately go broken up.
See, I'm never quite sure, but now what the funny thing is if this is a boyfriend that turned into a fiance or husband, they know you were being needy back in the day, dog, and they took your key back for a reason. All right, moving on. After Rochelle moved in, everything was fine. She mentioned that the shadow sometimes takes a while to manifest in new places, and I think we both thought her house would close before anything happened. Signs she mentioned were stomping and breathy noises, or breathy noises, if you will. No big deal to me since I grew up in a creepy farmhouse from 1912. However, one night I woke up, in parentheses, I think, holy shit,
what?
And could feel something watching me.
Nope.
I looked at the door. Nothing. To the closet. Nothing. And to the window. The eyes of an old woman peering from the edge of the window. My home is a split-level home, and the bottom of my windows are about 10 feet above ground in my bedroom. Suffice to say, I was creeped the hell out. I must have fallen back to sleep under her watchful gaze because the next thing I knew, my alarm was going off for work. After talking with Rochelle briefly, I was pretty sure that this was her shadow person / thing that had appeared to me. It never did anything, and I think it was just checking me out because the entity seems like a creepy protector of my friend, and I was not a threat.
Like her own little guardian angels type thing.
When I was still working with Tesla, someone started listening to our podcast that worked in the same office as me, and they came to me and they're like, hey, there's a spirit that guards my family. It's legit. I'm super skeptical. I'm an atheist, but it attacked my sister's boyfriend one time and almost killed him. Like, my dad's coming into town in a few months, and I'm going to get details on the story. I'm going to send it to you.
Did we read it? We did.
We never read it. We never had it sent to us because I got laid off, and I wasn't able to follow up with them, and I don't have them on my Facebook. I honestly can't remember her name because, like, that was the only time I ever talked to her. I was like, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Also, please send me that story. So that's what this reminds me of. I'm going to keep going. In any case, I saged the shit out of the entire house immediately afterwards. In parentheses, I just bought the place. I was not moving and never had a problem after that with her shadow figure. Her new house closed and she and her puppies moved to a better life away from her selfish ex-husband.
That's good.
That is good. Thanks for all the cool stories. Love the podcast and hit me up if you ever want to hear about the underground tunnels that existed underneath the hospital or some of the tragic occurrences there. Consider yourself hit up. We want to hear that.
Yes, send it to us. I was like, hear us. I meant send it to us.
Hear us now.
Hear our plea.
Witness Mary. P.S. You two inspired my current boyfriend and me to bond over spooky stuff, and we now do a, quote, the Black Hat Society Instagram page for historic places
we follow you
and
guys.
Paranormal stuff in Oregon.
Yes.
Not only do we follow you, but I see your stuff pop up, and I'm like, they're so cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm so happy that you've been inspired, and I can't believe it was by us. You guys are great. Keep on creeping on, Muriel. Thank you so much for sending that in, Muriel. That is
Muriel,
however you want to say it. It sounds like Ariel to me in my head, so thank you so much for sending that. We appreciate it so much. That's awesome. And guys, go check out the Black Hat Society on Instagram if you can. It's pretty cool stuff.
All right.
So solid stories. Very much appreciated.
Yeah. I'm totally down with knowing more about this hospital. I know like tunnels that go under hospitals are usually where they carry out the bodies and stuff like that. So creepy things are bound to happen. I know when we were at the Winchester, they were saying there's like tunnels in the basement and there's this one guy with a wheelbarrow.
The wheelbarrow man?
Yeah, that they see there. And it's just tunnels have weird stuff happen to them.
Yeah, the basement has a ghost called the wheelbarrow man. And Robin did not want to go to the basement for fear of running into it. Also, it costs a little bit extra. I was really hoping the Rubber Band Man would be present because I really like that song.
What?
It's a song called the Rubber Band Man.
It
was a joke.
Go?
You don't get it.
Okay.
I'm not going to sing it for you. So...
But yeah, so thank you guys for joining us for Storytime. All our stories tonight were amazing. We do our live streams every week.
Typically, and going forward, Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is West Coast time, on youtube.com/scarish or twitch.tv/scarish podcast. You can join us either spot. It's totally free to watch, and we appreciate having all of you here. We do a lot of extra stuff that is not in the normal podcast release, so you should catch at least one because it's a very fun time. And for those of you who want to send your stories, email storytime@scarish.com, tweet @scarishpod, Instagram @scarishpodcast, or message us on Facebook, facebook.com/scarishpodcast.
If you guys just head over to our scarish.com website, we have all our social media links on there. for you guys to check out. Take a clickety-click on all that stuff.
You can also click on Contact Us and fill that form out. Send us your story that way. We get
Yeah.
a lot of them that way, and we really appreciate them too. So.
Yes. And I also post these things on there, which are like my likes at the time, if you guys want to check that out. And yeah.
How can folks donate to us, Robin, if they would like to?
If you go to patreon.com/scarishpodcast, those are monthly donations, and there's a whole bunch of different tiers starting at $8, and that gets you a whole bunch of different things. There are also physical merch tiers that keep growing, which is great. Like, we keep getting more of the physical merch tiers, and I'm constantly making more stuff, and it's so fun. You guys are awesome. And then we have coffee, ko-fi.com/scarishpodcast, and those are one-time donations. All those donations help us upgrade our studio setup. And so if you've watched our YouTube videos from the beginning, you'll notice a lot of changes in lighting or video quality. We used to have just a GoPro, and now we have a real camera and our microphones. It's just all your donations really help us keep the podcast going. So
we appreciate every single one of you. So thank you so much for watching, listening, rating, reviewing, buying merch, or just telling a friend, because it really does help us out. Someone at work said, "Hey, I heard you had a podcast." I said, "I do." Told them what the name of it was. They said, "Cool. I just downloaded all your episodes. Probably won't listen to it. Don't get mad at me." And I was like, "Hey, if you subscribe and you download it, sooner or later you're going to get bored. You're going to listen to one of them. So wear people down. It's pretty good." We appreciate everyone that supports us. Seriously, we do.
Well, everybody wore me down on Adventure Zone.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. Sooner or later, everyone comes around. So just saying, we appreciate everyone so much, and we enjoy doing these. That's why Robin does this sick, and that's why we stay up late hours to make sure that you guys have a show. So thank you to all of you for supporting us. Thank you to everyone who came out for Winchester Mystery House. Thank you for everyone who's going to come out for our next meetup, which we will announce at some point when we figure out what it is.
Yeah.
So I think that's everything that we got for episode 70 of Storytime. We've done 70 of these, which is pretty amazing. So Robin, go ahead and sign us out.
Keep on creeping on, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.